Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Tom Girardi, former Real Housewives husband, sentenced to 7 years in prison. Tom Girardi, the estranged husband of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star Erika Jayne, is heading to prison. He was just sentenced in a Los Angeles court to 7 years and 3 months in federal prison for embezzlement. The sentence comes after he was found guilty of stealing $15 million from his clients over a decade-long period, infamously including $3 million of settlement cash from relatives of the victims of the 2018 Lion Air crash. In addition to his prison sentence, U.S. District Judge Josephine Staten in Los Angeles fined Girardi $35,000 and ordered him to pay more than $2.3 million in restitution. His sentence comes after he was found guilty of 4 counts of wire fraud in August 2024 by a federal jury. Prosecutors say Girardi embezzled upward of $25 million from his law firm to help fund Jayne's entertainment career, helping pay for lavish gifts such as luxury cars and jewelry, access to exclusive clubs, and travel by private jet. The brave celebrity has maintained her innocence and ignorance of the entire situation ever since allegations emerged in 2020. Jayne was named in a lawsuit regarding the Lion Air case and accused of knowing the mischief her hubby was up to on her behalf, but she was dismissed from the suit in 2022. Jayne filed for divorce from the disgraced attorney shortly after he was accused of funneling money from victims, shocking her. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills co-stars ever since. His health has been in decline, with his lawyers arguing he should not be prosecuted due to him having Alzheimer's disease. However, he was deemed fit to stand trial, despite living in an assisted care facility. During his trial, Girardi blamed Christopher Kamen, the former chief financial officer of their law firm Girardi Keys, for the missing funds. Kamen pleaded guilty to 2 counts of wire fraud in 2024 and was sentenced to 121 months in federal prison for his involvement in the scheme. Tom Girardi had once been a titan of the legal world, striding through marble courthouses in immaculate suits, while juries hung on his every word. To the public, he was the brilliant attorney who helped win billion-dollar settlements for environmental victims. To Real Housewives of Beverly Hills viewers, he was a quiet but commanding husband of Erika Jayne, stoic beside her glittering excess. But now, his designer shoes scuffed against the cold cement floor of a federal courthouse as a judge read aloud the decision that would officially end his reign. Thomas Vincent Girardi, the judge said, voice solemn yet unflinching, "You are hereby sentenced to 7 years in federal prison." Gasps rippled through the packed courtroom, reporters scribbling, cameras flashing, former clients clutching tissues while lawyers exchanged knowing glances. Tom did not gasp. He did not blink. At 85, he appeared more like a man thawed from ice than one burning with emotion. His once authoritative posture had slumped. His silver hair, once meticulously combed back, drooped like an abandoned flag. Beside him sat Erika Girardi, better known to the world as Erika Jayne, stone-faced. Beneath a cascade of platinum hair, no tears escaped her waterproof lashes. She had long since embraced a role far more formidable than grieving ex-wife, the infamous pop star turned defendant adjacent survivor. She was not on trial. Not today. But Tom's downfall was stitched to her image as tightly as sequins to one of her stage costumes. Prosecutors called it one of the most disturbing betrayals of trust ever committed by an attorney. For over a decade, Girardi had siphoned off settlement funds meant for widows, burn victims, and orphans, funneling the money into private jets, country club fees, and yes, according to the Ledger's, lavish music videos for his then-wife's alter ego, Erika Jayne. Now, those betrayed victims sat in the gallery. Some glared. Some cried. Some looked almost relieved. As the judge's gavel struck wood, Tom was asked if he wished to address the court. For a moment, something flickered across his face. Regret? Defiance? Senility? It was impossible to know. "I don't remember everything they say I did," he croaked, voice brittle as parchment. "But I'm sorry. If I hurt anyone, I'm sorry." A murmur rolled through the room like thunder. Outside, chaos awaited. Microphones extended over barricades. Headlines were already going live. Tom Girardi sentenced to 7 years. Justice at last. Erika Jayne seen leaving court with no comment. Housewife to inmate, the final act of a fallen legal legend. As marshals approached to escort him away, Tom's gait slowed. His right hand trembled against the polished chairs as he steadied himself. This was not the proud lawyer striding into court to win millions. This was a frail old man stepping into state-issue khakis. One victim, a woman who had lost her husband in a gas pipeline explosion years ago, stood. She didn't shout. She didn't curse. She simply whispered loud enough for him to hear, "We trusted you." Tom paused. For a moment, he looked like he might respond, But the marshals guided him forward. He shuffled on. While the courtroom emptied, the world outside erupted into a frenzy. Cable news anchors dissected the symbolism. Legal analysts debated whether 7 years was enough. Bravo fans flooded social media, with divided opinions, some celebrating accountability, others curious how this would play out in the next season's reunion special. Erica's black SUV waited at the curb. Cameras swarmed like vultures. Erica, did you know? Do you feel responsible? Will you visit him in prison? Her lips parted as if to speak, but no sound came. She held her composure like a performer trained never to crack under spotlight. Finally, she slid into the vehicle, and the door shut with a sound that echoed like the final note of a ballad inside the car. For the first time in years, silence surrounded her. No liars, no cameras, no glam squad. Just quiet. Was she relieved? Was she devastated? Or was she already calculating how to rebuild a brand from the ashes of disgrace? Meanwhile, across the city, in a high-security medical facility repurposed for elderly inmates, preparations were underway. Tom Girardi would not be thrown among violent offenders. No. His age and supposed cognitive decline granted him a gentler cage. Still, bars were bars. By nightfall, America had its verdict not just legally, but emotionally. To some, this was justice. To others, too little, too late. But one truth remained universal: the fall of Tom Girardi was complete. Once hailed as a legal giant who fought for the powerless, he became the ultimate symbol of corruption hiding behind philanthropy. He traded depositions for discipline checks, jury applause for cafeteria chatter. 7 years. At his age, it might as well be forever. Some stories end with redemption, others with ruin. Tom Girardi's ended with a sentence carved not just into legal records, but into pop culture history. Once a husband on Real Housewives. Now, inmate number 48291013. Lights out. Curtain down. The empire of illusions gone. Tom Girardi once stood at the pinnacle of power and prestige. A celebrated attorney in Los Angeles, famous for winning multi-million-dollar settlements and living a life that appeared straight from a glossy magazine. To the world, he was the powerhouse legal mind behind the Erin Brockovich case, the charming older husband of Erica Jane from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and the embodiment of old-school success. But now, that towering reputation lies in shattered pieces. On a somber morning that will forever mark the fall of a titan, Girardi, 85, was sentenced to 7 years in federal prison, not for failing in the courtroom, but for betraying the very people he once claimed to champion. The courtroom was heavy with silence as a judge delivered the sentence. Gone was the confident swagger, the sharp suits, the bold laughter. Instead, Girardi appeared frail, a shadow of his former self. Some whispered about his health, others murmured justice had come too late. But for the victims in attendance, clients whose settlement funds were siphoned off to fuel Girardi's extravagant lifestyle, the moment tasted like long-delayed vindication. For years, Tom and Erica had dazzled audiences with an opulent life of private jets, diamond earrings, and a wardrobe that screamed excess. On television, Erica flaunted her alter ego Erica Jane, insisting it's expensive to be me. Little did the world know exactly who was footing the bill. Widows who had lost husbands in airplane crashes, children orphaned by tragic accidents, burn victims scarred for life. These were the clients who came to Girardi for help, and won. Yet instead of releasing the funds owed to them, he allegedly rerouted the money into shell accounts, covering credit card bills, buying jewelry, and maintaining a Hollywood-rich lifestyle that now feels like a grotesque parody. When the judge asked if he had anything to say before sentencing, Girardi reportedly spoke softly, struggling to reconcile the man he once was with the one now standing before justice. He blamed age, confusion, poor oversight. But for many watching, it was too little, too late. One victim reportedly glared at him with quiet fury. A woman who waited years to receive what was legally hers, all while watching Erica twirl in designer gowns on national television.